Warning, this video contains graphic hunting footage. Feral hogs are an invasive species and need to be eradicated as much as possible to prevent their spread and destruction. Javelinas are a game animal with a limit of 2 per person per year. All meat from animals hunted on this channel goes to use.
I'm gonna see bigger size.
Keep pulling. Keep pulling.
Woo! Oh yeah, dude. Absolutely. Damn, man.
Just came walking out from that direction. Let him get pretty close, and once I got a good shot, I took it.
I was in this blind here, down in South Texas. That's where this Javelina came. We got him down with one shot, where he stood. Let's go take a look at this guy. This is my first time ever hunting Javelina. He's just following this line of corn. These things are cool looking. Well, he's dead where he stood. They're much smaller than you think. I knew this coming out here, but you know, you picture them being like a feral hog, but these peccaries are, you know, much smaller. But they should be a delicious meal right there. So we got that first Javelina down, and I had been sitting in the blind only maybe 5 minutes before he came out. So we're gonna try to get us the second one here, see if a group of them comes out, because that one was just by himself. And once it starts to get close to sundown, then we're going to move over to the opposite side of this property and see if we can get some hogs that come out once it's dark. Stay tuned.
So it was about 15 minutes after we got that first Javelina that I went back up in this same blind and just started watching. I did see another lone Javelina come down the trail at the very edge of it. I could see him turn and start walking towards me. This is the same trail that I got that first guy on shortly before. And at this point, he was about 100 yards away, and I wanted to let him get a little bit closer before I did anything else. So something must have spooked that Javelina. I saw him do a little jump and start to get away from the opening into the brush. I watched him for, another 20 seconds before he finally disappeared into the brush. I didn't feel confident about taking a shot there just because of all the brush, and I also didn't feel the need to be rushed. I got that first one in 5 minutes, and this guy came just a few minutes after I recovered him. So I thought I would definitely have another chance at some others. So I'm glad I did wait. So I kept checking down that same trail, which was to my right in the blind, that those first two Javelinas came down. And, I'd glance every once in a while behind me because there was another trail, and to my left, which was in front of the blind. And one of the times I glanced in front of the blind, we did see these two guys pop out together.
Like a good one. There he is. You got almost a little razorback to him. Oh, much bigger than last one. Alright, we're back out in a different blind now. The time is 6:38 p.m. Earlier, we got 2 Javelinas out here. We are near Benavides, Texas, South Texas. We were on a complete other side of the property earlier when we got both of those Javelinas, and we are now on an opposite side of this property, looking at blinds, hoping they'll come out. So it's about to be sunset here, last light. We got some corn down that path, maybe about 50, 60 yards away. And over here, about 45 yards away, we got corn. Just beyond that curve over there, we actually have a little pond that they like to wallow in. And then we just got low fence around this place to the neighbor's adjacent property. So we can see where they've been crossing through this fence line. The only hard part is it can be kind of hard to tell what tracks are the Javelinas and what tracks are these feral hogs. So we're about to lose our light. I'm going to bust out our night vision setup. We got the Sightmark Wraith 4K Max that we're running, and we also have a pair of the Night Fox Swift, just normal binos, so we're not having to hold up that rifle every time we check these spots in the night. So stay tuned. Hopefully we can finish off today's hunts with a feral hog to go with those 2 Javelinas.
So I've been sitting in this blind for about 2 hours, and I did see some cool wildlife out here. You know, with this infrared light for this night vision, you see the reflection of eyes, and so it's kind of easy to, you know, see something not quite like a thermal, but you can detect something just by its eyes before you can really make out what it is. I got some cool shots, some footage here of some rabbits, which there were a ton of. There always is when we go to South Texas. And I also saw some of these really big raccoons that have definitely been enjoying all of this corn that have been left out. The hogs had not hit this spot in a few days, so there was some built up corn that they had been munching on. About 2 hours after I got out there is when this lone sow came out. So my shot ended up hitting that hog right where I had held the reticle. Got it through the heart with a supersonic 300 blackout, 150 grain Winchester Deer Season XP. So when I went to check the blood trail, it did go right under the fence where you saw it run out of the frame. There's a barbed wire fence, and I did go and recover it. Follow the blood trail probably about 5 minutes until I found it. It did expire probably about 25-30 yards into the brush. And then I had the fun task of bringing it back to where you saw on camera where I took the shot. Now when I brought it back, I would estimate that the sow was probably about 100 pounds, nothing crazy, but it was pretty awesome to be able to finish off this day where I got 2 male Javelinas with a good sow at the end of the day. So it was a whole lot of fun. I think this whole trip, from the time I got into the blind for that first Javelina until I was done recovering that sow, I mean probably about 8 hours total. And then it was only about 3.5 hours drive back to San Antonio. So a ton of fun. One thing I learned about Javelinas from this whole experience is they're not nearly as wary as a wild hog. So feral hogs, right, those guys, they're rather intelligent. They'll quickly learn and adapt to any pressure that you put on them, not only by going nocturnal, but just being really skittish. The Javelinas didn't really seem to have much fear. I could shoot one of them, and then another one would come down the same trail and not pay much of attention to, you know, the blood or anything like that. They also don't spook nearly as easy, you know, and their eyesight, I guess, is not nearly as good. So it was cool learning about Javelinas and kind of comparing how they act towards the feral hogs, which I have a lot more experience with. Now make sure you guys subscribe down below, really helps support the channel, and check out some of our other awesome hunting content right here.